active Advent gift is going to be a short Pilates session focusing on accessing the core and learning some of the fundamentals of Pilates too. As always, if you feel any discomfort or pain in your body, please do stop and get checked out by a healthcare professional. All right, come and lie down with me. So rolling down, pulling the lower abdominals in, scooping out the belly and rolling down slowly onto your back. And then when you get there, just resting your head down, releasing the arms by your sides, and adjust the feet so that they're a comfortable distance away from your bottom and hip width apart. Now as you lie here, all I want you to do to begin with is just focus on your breath. So we're going to breathe in through the nose, and as you do that, breathe in fully, allow the belly to lift, and as you breathe out through the mouth like you're blowing out candles on a birthday cake. So in through the nose, and then breathe out through the mouth. Now next time you breathe in, I want you to try and keep the belly flat. So as you breathe in, now breathe into the side of the ribs and into the back of the rib cage. Keeping the belly drawn in, exhale through the mouth and feel the pelvic floor engage, the lower abdominals switch on. Okay, let's do that again. In through the nose, right up underneath into the armpits, and then exhale through the mouth. One more time. And this is our Pilates breath. Okay, let's think about the rib cage now. So quite often when we do exercises in Pilates, we let the ribs flare and open. I want you to now think about closing the ribs together and down. So it feels like the front body muscles engage to tether the rib cage together, acting like a corset of control around the front of the body. So with those two things engaged, the breath working, the core switched on, the rib cage pulled in, let's now work into a pelvic tilt movement. So if you imagine a marble placed in the centre of your tummy, you're going to tuck your tailbone under and roll the marble right in towards the belly button, feeling the lower abs engage. And then let the marble roll the other way, so down towards the pubic bone, as you feel a little arch underneath the lower back. Now check here, have you let your ribs flare? Has there been a change in the upper body position? Let's come back into that engagement and then go again. So tucking under, really focusing the effort into the lower section of the body. One more of each. That's it. And then allow the pelvis to come into a neutral place where that marble would rest in the centre of the belly and your pubic bone and both hip bones would be on one level plane. And we call this our neutral pelvis position. Okay, maintaining neutral now. Take a breath in. And as you breathe out through the mouth, you're going to tuck your chin, nod your head, lift up and reach towards the back of the ankles, coming just onto the tips of your shoulder blades. Check you haven't tucked your tailbone under. Take a breath in at the top. And as you breathe out through your mouth, control your head, your shoulders back down to the floor and rest the arms. Let's do that again. In through the nose, out through the mouth, tuck the chin first, lift the head, look between the thighs. Breath in at the top, keeping the belly pulled in, breathe wide into the side and the back of the ribs, and then exhale through the mouth and control as you lower back down. Now, one of the principles of Pilates is control. Let's do this again, taking your time, exhaling, lifting, keeping control through the pelvis position, breathing in at the top, and breathe out to come down. Great stuff. Now, checking you're still in your neutral pelvis position, arms down by your sides. I want you to imagine now you've got a seat belt that connects each pointy hip bone to each other. Imagine that seat belt tightening now, bringing a little bit more control into the lower abdominal region. And there's a little ant on the floor just by your foot. You're going to lift one foot so that the ant can pass underneath it, keeping the pelvis level. Place the foot down and then change sides and do exactly the other thing. So as you're lifting and lowering your foot, there's no change in the position of your pelvis. Your front body is engaged for control. And if that feels easy and you want a bigger challenge, you might want to try lifting both feet at the same time. Now this takes a lot of effort. So really do check that you're keeping your neutral spine, your pelvis still as you lift the legs, the rib cage engaged, the breath out as you lift, and the breath in as you lower. And one more. Hold the legs up here. We're going to take our time to bring the right knee up above the hip and then the left into our double knee fold position. Great stuff. From here, keep the ribs together and down, keep the belly engaged. Let's flex the feet, pulling the toes back to the shins and then point the toes. Let's do that again. Flex and points. Now, as you're doing that movement, can you double check for me that your knees are directly above your hips, so your femur bones, your thigh bones are in a neutral position? And one more, and then we're good to go into a toe tap. So keeping your pelvis in neutral, take your right foot down towards the floor, tap the foot, and then from the lower abs, lift the knees, stopping it above the hip, and switch sides. Inhale to lower, and exhale to lift. And if you're working really hard like I am to control everything through the front body, you should feel your core is working to support your spine, to support your torso, as we have the challenge of the legs moving away and back towards you. Now, if that feels okay, you could try both legs together. Just a word of warning, this is actually really tough to control the pelvis. So if it feels like your lower back starts to arch away from the floor as you take your feet down, you can probably see I'm shaking to control it, then just go back to one leg at a time. We'll just do 2 more of those. Inhaling to lower the legs, keeping the belly flat, exhaling to lift the knees back above the hips, and then one more time, lower and lift. Great stuff. Okay, when you get here, if you flex the feet for me again, take your right hand onto your right knee. Now you're going to do a pushing movement with the hand as you do a pushing movement with the thigh. Pressing the knee away from you, push the knee back into you. Feel how the core switches on as you do this. Okay, let's switch sides. So left hand to left thigh, just beneath the knee, push the knee away and press the knee back in. So it's an isometric contraction. That means the muscles are working, but there's no movement in the body. And then let's do the same thing, both hands to both upper thighs. Breath in, breathe out. Press the knees into the hands and the hands into the knees. That's really good. Take one more breath in and out here, maintaining that core connection throughout. And then release the arms by your sides. Point your toes and lower the feet one at a time back into a comfortable place. Feet hip width apart and a comfortable distance away from your bottom. Okay, check you're still in your neutral spine position, where that marble would rest in the centre of the belly, your pubic bone, your hip bones on one level plane, the ribs tethered together and down. And we'll take the arms up towards the ceiling. And then letting the shoulders lift up towards the ears slightly, take the arms back up and overhead without letting the ribcage lift. Now work hard from the abdominals to pull the arms back over the shoulders, and we'll do that again. So inhale to reach the arms up and back, and then exhale to draw the arms back over the shoulders. We've got 2 more of these, reaching, closing through the ribs, keeping the front body connected, working from the abdominals to lift the arms back up. 1 more, reach out and away. Great stuff. Now we're going to take this into a snow angel arm movement. So the arms stay visible in your peripheral vision as you circle the arms wide, round, down and back up. Let's just do 2 in each direction. So circle round, down, wide and back up. And then reverse it, take it the other way around. Just checking you can still see the arms out of the corners of your eyes. Great stuff. And now hold it here. We're going to pick up the feet one at a time, come back into your double knee folds, and then we'll lift the head, the neck, the chest into the 100. So a breath in to prepare. As you breathe out, tuck your chin, lift your head. Now reach your arms long, hovering just away from the floor, and let's start to beat the arms. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 1. In through the nose, and out through the mouth. Now keep the arms beating. Notice how the arms are long, and I'm beating from the back of the upper arm and trying to stop too much wobbling through the body by drawing my abs in, lower abdominals in, pelvic floor lifts. Now, some of you might be asking for a little bit more challenge from this, and if that's you, take the feet together and extend the legs out long. Turn the heels together, externally rotate the thighs, and keep beating the arms. Breath in through the nose, breath out through the mouth. 2 to go. And the last one, in through the nose and out through the mouth. Draw the knees in, rest the head down, and now circle the knees round a few times in each direction. It's really common to start to grip into the hip flexors when we're trying to do some of these difficult movements through Pilates. So just giving them a little release here can really help. Great stuff. Now let's bring the feet down to the floor. And then take the legs just a little bit further away from you. We're going to try a roll-up movement here. So you're going to come into a seated position, but in a very slow, controlled manner. What I don't want to see is this sort of thing. Trying to get up, or even using momentum to lift, because you're going to hurt your back that way. So I'll give you an option if you're struggling to get away from the floor. We're going to take the arms up and overhead to begin with. And now inhale to lift the arms up above the shoulders. And as you breathe out, tuck your chin, lift your head and pick up the shoulder blades away from the floor. Now if you need to hold on to the back of the legs, you can here to just pull yourself up to seated. Then stretch the legs out long, lift the belly in and up and reach forwards over the legs. Then start to roll down with control. My Christmas tree's in the way. And take the arms up and overhead. So you may be able to do this without bending the knees, but the knee bend option is there for you. Make sure you're rolling really smoothly in this movement. Now the way down is where we can really challenge the core. So I want you to imagine you've pressed slow-mo and you're taking your time, going up 1 mile an hour to release all the way back down. Keep the ribs together as the arms go overhead. Let's do this twice more. So you might be getting stuck. That's normal. Hold on to the back of the legs and pull yourself to seated. And then work your way down as the bit where you really challenge your core strength. Tucking under, rolling down carefully, vertebra by vertebra, coming all the way onto your back. And then let's just take one more. How slowly can you roll down after this one? Let's see. Keep the tail tucked underneath. And roll down. 1 mile an hour, bone by bone, all the way onto your back. And then allow the arms to reach out, the feet to reach out to a full body stretch. Now bring the arms back down by your sides. Let's lift the knees and come back into our double knee fold position, lifting one knee at a time, trying to keep your pelvis in neutral as you go. So do you remember we did the toe tap with the leg moving down towards the floor? We're going to do the same thing now, but with the arm, opposite arm, reaching out and away into what we call dead bug. So the right foot will tap down as the left arm reaches up and overhead. And then work from the centre of your body to draw everything back up and switch sides. Trying to keep the spine in its neutral position, the pelvis level, draw in and up. Let's add breath. Inhale as you reach away. And then exhale as you lift. And you might remember, as you're breathing in, you're trying to keep the belly flat. You're accessing the side and the back of the rib cage. Okay, one more on each side. Use your breath here, in through the nose and out through the mouth. Amazing. And then bring your feet down and adjust your feet so they're a little bit closer to your bottom. Okay, we're going to do a movement now that's called a spine curl, and it's about moving the spine in a really nice way to free up the backbone. It's called articulation of the spine, so we're lifting each vertebra one at a time. So you don't want your feet too far away from you and you don't want them too close to you. You're going to take a breath in, and as you breathe out, tuck the tailbone underneath. Now keeping the tailbone tucked, roll up slowly through each vertebra, right up onto the back of the shoulders. Now at the top of the move here, you want to look at the rib cage and check it's not popping up and open. Keep the ribs together and down. Keep the chin gently tucked and then roll down slowly, vertebra by vertebra, coming all the way down until your pelvis rests back in its neutral position. And then you can go again. So breath in to prepare, a breath out and roll up. Now I quite like to close my eyes as I do this one because it helps me really focus into how the body's moving. Another thing, try not to dump all the weight back into the shoulders. Keep pushing the knees forwards over the centre of the foot, rolling down, feeling each vertebra coming down and just noticing if you've got any areas of tightness. For me, there's a little bit around the lower back, so I'm just going to slow right down here. And let's go just for one more. Slowly rolling up. Easing it back down. And just taking a moment to bring yourself into your neutral pelvis, that marble in the centre of the tummy, your pubic bone and both hip bones on one level plane. All right, guys, we're coming into our series of 5 now, which is quite tough. So do please take a break if you need to. The first thing we need to do is lift back into our double knee fold position, but maintaining our neutral pelvis. So breathing in, lift the right knee over the hip, breathe out, navel to spine, or pull the lower abdominals in. Gently engage the pelvic floor and then lift the left knee too. Now in this movement, you're going to be stretching one leg out and away. The tendency is to tuck the tail under, so I want you to try and keep the tailbone heavy, keep the pelvis in neutral as we move. You're going to draw the right knee towards you and stretch the left leg up. The higher the leg goes, the easier it is. So if you're searching for a challenge, take the leg a little bit lower. Now hands either side of the right knee, take a breath in, tuck your chin as you exhale, curl up. So you're coming onto the shoulder tips and you can really feel the core activated. So you're going to inhale to switch legs, exhale and push away. So you're holding the other side of the knee. As you're moving here with your breath, keep the collarbones open, the belly pulled down and in as best you can. Let your tail feel heavy. As you stretch out through the leg, push the leg away so the thigh muscle's really working for you. Now, precision is one of the fundamental things of Pilates. So we're going to try and take the leg to the same place each time with the right big toe and then each time with the left big toe. 3 to go. Last 2, last 1, and then draw the knees in and rest your head down. Take a little break. Okay, from there we're going into the double leg stretch. So start with the knees above the hips again. Tailbone stays heavy, neutral pelvis. Tuck your chin, curl up, and now draw the knees in towards you a little bit and rest your hands on top of your legs. Now you might remember we did like a snow angel movement through the arms. We're going to do the same thing here. So breathe in, reach the arms and legs away from you. You can still see the arms in the peripheral vision. And then exhale, circle the arms around as you draw the knees in. Hands come back on top of the shins. And again, breathe in and breathe out, circle round. See if you can do 8, using your breath to really help the movement. Inhale and exhale, you 4 to go. In and out, 3 to go. Last 2. Checking your head and your shoulders are staying in place. Last 1. And then take a little break, draw the knees in. You probably need it after that one. Okay, the next movement is a single leg stretch again, but this time the legs will be straight. So I'm going to get you to extend your right leg along the floor. Reach the left leg up, and please now if you've got tight hamstrings, it's okay to keep a little bend in the back of the knee. So the hands to the back of the left leg, tuck your chin, lift your head, curl up, and now slide the hands up the back of the leg. Now with this, we want to take 2 breaths out, so it's a double pulse out breath. The leg pulls close, closer, breathe in, switch. Breathe in, switch. Now the lower you take your leg, the harder it's going to be. So you might just want to hover it a little bit higher away from the floor to take some of the pressure out of the lower abs. Notice how my chin's tucked, I'm looking between the thighs, I've not got the chin poking up into the air. You can hear how my voice changes and it becomes more strained when I do that. You want to look after the muscles of the neck. Your breath, double pulse. Inhale. Inhale. Stop when you need to. If you're still going, just 4 more. Here's 4, 3, last 2, and last 1. Bend the knees, rest the head down. Great stuff. Keeping the knees together, circle round in each direction. And then, when you're ready, let's move on. This is double straight leg stretch. Hands to the back of the head. You're going to extend the legs up to the ceiling. Now I've tucked under actually, I've just noticed it. So check you sit in your neutral position through the tail. Draw in the lower abs and then take a breath in. Breathe out to curl up. Know that you can bend the knees if you need to here. And you don't have to lower the legs all the way down towards the floor. That's really challenging to keep the pelvis in place. So as you move your legs now, start very small movements, taking the legs away from you and then drawing back up. Take it away from you and then draw back up. And we're doing 8 in total. You might be able to take the legs longer and further away, but if that feels like it's rocking around at your pelvis, do please reduce the range and work with the legs higher. 3 to go, 2 to go, and the last 1. And then draw the knees in, rest the head down. There's 1 more from our series of 5. We've got a rotational movement in this one. So when we turn the upper body, we want to keep the lower body anchored in place. So if I did it with my knees, with my feet down on the floor, the knees would stay still as I turn from side to side. Notice how the centre of the chest is turning here. The elbows are open out wide. Now as we do this with the single leg stretch movement pattern into crisscross, your feet will be off the floor. So you've got to work your core harder to keep the pelvis in a neutral place. So curling up, you're going to bend the knee closest to me, extend the leg furthest away. Can you see the dog doing that? She's going crazy behind me. So turning across to face me, and then switch and twist the other way. Draw the abdominals in. Use your breath. Breathe in as you switch, exhale as you twist. Really lift your opposite shoulder up and across, opening the elbows out wide. This is challenging. So if it feels too much and you need to bring your knees into a bent position to toe tap, you'll get a little more stability there. You got 4 more. 4, breathe in. 3, nice work. 2, and 1, and rest. Your head down. Pull your knees in, do whatever you need to do to take a little break here. And then when you're ready, releasing your feet back down to the floor. We're going to turn over and roll onto the front so that we can work into the back of the body. High. Good girl. Mind out of the way. So as you lie down on your front, Willow, can you find out the way, please? Oh. You're going to bring your hands so that they're lined up with the top of your shoulders. Tuck your elbows in. And now just a quick word of warning about the legs. Try to have your feet hip width apart, toes pointed, top of the feet pushing into the floor so that your hamstrings are working. And then tuck your tailbone down towards your heels and draw your belly in and up. So the movement you're going to do is to brush your nose along the floor, lift the back of the head, and just pick yourself up a little bit as best you can. Now pull the elbows towards each other, squeeze the muscles between the shoulder blades, and then gently push into the hands to lift you higher. Now, using the muscles of your back, squeezing hard, slowly lower yourself back down. Let's do that again. So brush your nose along the floor, lift the head, the neck, the chest just a little bit, then gently push into the hands to lift a little higher, squeezing the elbows in, the shoulder blades together, and then use the muscles on your back to lower yourself all the way down. Could we do 3 more of these, please? Lifting up. So find how much you can do. Gently push into the hands to take you just that little bit further, and you should be able to remove the hands away from the floor as you lower down to know that the muscles of the back are working. 2 to go. And slowly lower down. 1 last time. Notice how by brushing the nose along the floor, you're putting your neck in a better alignment as you extend through that upper body. Try not to extend just into the lower back. You want to get some mid-back and upper back work too. Should feel the back muscles working here. And then slowly lower yourself all the way down, push into the hands and sit yourself up and back into a child's pose. Bottom to heels, arms overhead. And there you go. So you've just done a short Pilates session, working pretty hard into the core and also learning some of the principles of Pilates at the same time. See you again soon. Have a fab Christmas.